Okay. So anyway, good morning, everybody. What I was just saying, that is so exciting to be able to give money away. Yes, you hear it right. I'm excited to give, to share the money that I'm making to with other people, and it's exciting. And it's like when we decide to do that, and I brought it to my business partner, my other half, my friend, and everything, the love of my life. And I went upstairs and I told him, I said, I think I want to give money away for this for now until July. He said, let's do it. And I give me so much energy just to know that I'm able to do that. I'm able to support my team and share the money that I'm making, because I'm making the money because of you guys. And so it's exciting to do that. And so it's energizing to give money away. It's very energizing. But anyway, last night when I closed the week, because the week, as you most of you know, the week started on today. This morning at 12 a.m. It's a new week, and it's going to end up on Friday at 9 o'clock Pacific time. Okay. So last night I was checking everybody to make sure that everybody had their 3 brand new brand partners for the week, and I was making sure that everybody it was on a smart order. It's because I want you guys to make money. And at one point I said, wait a minute, why am I doing this? I'm the one who's giving money away, and I'm making sure everybody has their 3 and everybody send a smart order. But it was fun. But I just want to let you know, this week I am not going to do it. So every single leader, check your board, go into the back office, and go into organization. I'm going to show you in a little bit how to do that. As a matter of fact, I posted on Facebook how to do it on the Love Team page. So please do it, and check to see if your leaders have all the requirements, because otherwise we don't make the 500 points, none of us, and the leader, the main leader, will not make the $100. So please make sure that you do that. Okay, use that tool. That's what the tools are there for. And it's super easy to do it, okay? So, and I'm gonna post it on Facebook. So like I was saying earlier, a lot of people, a lot of my other leaders are saying, oh my God, what happened? You have a team that's growing so fast. What are they doing? Tell us the secret. I said, well, it's not my secret, first of all, to be shared. And they doing the energy they carrying out is super exciting for me to see it. They come here to upstairs. They use, because it's your office, you guys, all of you, okay? And I say this, and some people take advantage of that. Some people don't take advantage of that. So the Holistic Justice League is taking advantage of the space, and they bring in the energy. And sometimes, to tell you the truth, I'm downstairs and I'm like, I'm eating or doing something else, and I go, no, I have to go and get some of that energy because I can hear it upstairs. And they're doing awesome things. They're duplicating, they're building community, which is, I think, very awesome. Let me see who's not on mute. If you are here, mute yourselves, because I can hear everything. I got it. Okay. So anyway, so because of that, I decided to bring the one of the main leaders that's creating all the movement, all the energy to get to the top. He's building him and his team are building, and the main one of the team leaders, main team leaders is Sima. They both are building communities. They building duplication. They never stop. And we constantly stay in constant communication with both of them. We probably talk 2-3 times a day, and which is fun. When they don't call me, I miss them, because I'm like, what's wrong with you guys? You're not calling me anymore. And anyway, so since a lot of people is asking me again for what are they doing? What is the team doing that they're having such a success? So I decided to bring the main sources. Ra is an incredible businessman, and he walks his talk. He is product of the product. When I first met him, he's very quiet, and he has stood in there in the back of the room, and I'm explaining the compensation plan with Seema and another two leaders, and he was so quiet and not even like saying a word. And then in my mind, I said, "Oh my God, this guy is not even paying attention to me." And so I keep talking, I keep going, and then when I finish, and then I said, "Anybody has any question?" To my surprise, he's like, "Yes, I have a question. In the beginning, you say this." To tell the truth, I didn't even remember what I said in the beginning. But he was paying attention to every single thing that I was saying. From that, I learned that I should never judge people, and I should never say anything like, "Pay attention to me," be like the class teacher or anything, because, anyway, so he's very quiet. But once that he opened his mouth, oh my God, watch out, because he's very smart and he's very particular of everything that he's saying. So anyway, with any further ado, I'm gonna leave the space. I'm gonna leave it up to you, Rod, to share everything that you're doing to our team, and go on.
All right. Well, thank you for that introduction, Lucy. And I think that's a very important concept that we all need to consider when we're having enrollment conversations or having conversations with our downline about the struggles that they're having or the intentions that they have, and that's listening. So not just listening to the words that people are saying, but listening to the why that they're saying that. And that way we can best answer their questions and offer feedback that's going to be multidimensional. We're going to give them the answer to the question that they're asking, but we're also going to paint a picture that helps them better demonstrate new questions, because everyone's asking questions at the level that they're at, but you know a bigger perspective. So you don't necessarily want to just answer from their perspective or just answer from your perspective. We always want to be listening to the full picture, digesting it, and answering both from their perspective, and then helping them paint the bigger picture perspective, question and answers that they can also start considering. Anyways, so Lucy asked me to come on here to talk about duplication was kind of the main topic. And I wanted to start talking about duplication, and that starts before the person enrolls into the business, right? So I'm going to start with our enrollment conversations. And I'm also I'm a gym guy. I used to own several gyms. So I use a lot of athletic metaphors to explain some of my concepts. And there's a very big topic and there's a very big issue that we have to deal with as Purium brand partners. And that is the fact that people enroll for the products. Our products are so good that we have this issue, at least in our organization. I don't want to speak to everyone, but in our organization, we had an issue of people enrolling and then wanting to wait to taste the products or wait to have results from the 30-day ultimate lifestyle transformation. And actually to maximize the compensation plan that doesn't really work the greatest. And also, as we know, the compensation plan and the fast start bonuses are there for our benefit. If people get into action fast, then it's more likely that they're going to stay in action. If they don't get into action fast, then it's more likely that they'll never get into action. So the fast start bonuses and the fact that that's the only matching bonuses that we receive is all there for our benefit. So then the question becomes, how do we get over the fact that, let me let my dog out of the room, hold on.
I love that dog, by the way.
How do we get over the fact, how do we get people to enroll into action, right? Not enroll into doing the products. And I've got a very good way of doing that, and that is to actually talk about the business, talk about the work. And the metaphor I want to use is the marathon. So millions of people sign up for marathons every year in America and all over the world. And you can imagine pitching or selling somebody for a marathon and only talking about the benefits of finishing the marathon. So imagine pitching somebody on a marathon and saying, hey, you get to cross the finish line, you get to run 26.2 miles, all of your friends know that you run a marathon, you have a sticker, you get a prize pack, you get the time, you get to see your ranking after you finish, you accomplish everything, maybe you qualify for another marathon. Nobody really sells marathons by talking about the benefits that happen after you finish the marathon. And nobody really signs up for a marathon because of what happens after you cross the finish line. But for some reason in network marketing, the easy thing to do is to talk about the finish line. We talk about the money that can be made. We talk about the time freedom. We talk about all of the things that happen after you do the work. So when somebody enrolls, what are they doing? They're enrolling and they're like, I'm here for the finish line. Like, where's it at? Where's the money? Where's the time freedom? Like, where's my upline support that was promised to me? And we can't duplicate if that's what people are enrolling for. And go back to the marathon, nobody in, I hear a lot of feedback. Nobody really joins a marathon for the finish. Everyone's joining a marathon for the struggle. Can we?
Working on it.
I think I'm unmuted now, right? Okay. So everybody signs up. Am I unmuted now?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. I'll repeat myself. Everyone signs up for the marathon for the work, right? We all sign up to, I've never done a marathon, but I know a lot of people that have. And everyone, when they sign up for the marathon, tomorrow, what do? They're buying running shoes. Tomorrow, they're looking up training plans. Tomorrow, they're planning on stopping drinking. They're planning on sacrificing their social life, sacrificing their time, maybe even sacrificing overtime at work so that they can start putting in the miles to eventually one day cross the finish line. And this is all the exciting stuff about running a marathon. That's the achievement. It's today I'm running 1 mile. Next week I'm running 10 miles a day. The week after that I'm running 15 miles. And you're building up to this point where you finally run 26.2 miles. And I feel that if we can learn to talk about Purium, if we can learn to talk about network marketing, if we can learn to talk about our whys, why are we doing this? Because this is bigger than superfoods. This is bigger than making money, right? We're changing the planet here. We're giving people food. We're giving people a way to get out of the matrix, out of the 9-to-5 matrix. And we're also empowering people with personal development and business development. And this why is big. And we want to not just talk about the finish line. Let's talk about the training. Let's talk about the hurt knees, the sore back. Let's talk about not being able to go out on Friday night because Saturday morning you're running 13 miles and you don't want to be dehydrated and hungover. Let's talk about being on our phone all day long. Let's talk about getting blue light glasses because you're probably going to be staring at your phone for 4 hours every night. Let's talk about calling people that you're scared to call and offering them the opportunity. Let's talk about dealing with your downline, having a team that now you're responsible for, and you're on the call with them at night sometimes talking about like them breaking up with their boyfriend and being responsible for more than just yourself, because this is work and this is exciting. And if we can get into people's brains before they enroll into the $315 pack, if we can get into their brains that like this is a journey, this is a process, this is an achievement that you're going to have to rise up to. On day 2, the day 1 after they sign up, they're ready for that, okay? They're like, feed me, tell me what I need to do. I want to be responsible. This is the time where everybody actually wants to be proper human beings. The internet, one of the best things about the internet is it's letting us know the achievements of others. It's letting us know what everybody else is up to. And everyone's like, wow, people are doing amazing things. It's time for me to be that way. And that's how we want to start talking to people in the enrollment conversations. And that's what we've done. as we've taken the finish line conversations out of the enrollment conversations, and now we're talking about the journey. And so when people enroll, they're no longer just interested in trying the products that are so good for me. They're interested in getting over the hump. Okay, so on to what actually is talked about, right? So I think what's most important is that people understand that when they enroll into a network marketing organization, they have to build a network, and it's the ground level. So if we can talk about this from a business standpoint, when you build any business, there's the ground level work, and the ground level work usually is getting paying customers in traditional business, right? Paying members in traditional business. I'm from the gym industry. I started a gym. I had to get members, and you have to get over that hump. And the hump that we have is getting other brand partners and getting customers. So letting in the enrollment conversation, being very, very specific and truthful that we are learning to enroll, and this is bettering ourselves, because enrolling people into your visions is primarily what's necessary for any successful person to learn. If you think about successful, Steve Jobs, for example, he's a very good avatar, a very good, what's the word I'm looking for? Model of enrolling people into vision. Okay, the vision of the iPad that nobody knew that they needed. Okay, so he did that. Do you remember when the iPad came out? Everyone was like, what the crap is this? It's not a phone, it's not a computer. What do I need, like something in between a phone and a computer? And he enrolled the world into the iPad. And that's what we're doing. And that's what we're learning. And when we talk to people in these enrollment conversations, if we can feed them a little bit into the excitement of the enrollment game, and the fact that if we become successful at the enrollment game, then we have an organization and we can start building ourselves as a manager and as a leader and someone that develops leaders. I think that not a lot of people get through the enrollment game. And our main concern here is, how do we get people through the enrollment game? And I feel, and we're working on this and we're constantly improving, but the way that we're doing it is we're mentioning the enrollment game before they enroll. We're letting them know, like, hey, we're enrolling you right now. Eventually, you're going to be doing this to other people. And so letting them know that that's what's most important in the beginning is going to get their head around the fact, like, okay, this is the skill set that I'm learning at this stage. Eventually, things are going to get more dynamic, more fun. But for now, I'm learning this enrollment game. And then there's tons of stuff on YouTube. I know that there's leaders. We all have strategies for the enrollment game. But the main thing I wanted to talk about, the main thing I wanted to share was talking about the work in the enrollment conversation, as opposed to talking about the finish line, talking about the prizes. Because if we're trying to get people to work, trying to get people into action, we're trying to enroll them into action. We want them enrolling into action, not just enrolling into a $315 pack that they're going to wait for. So that's my main.
Hey Rob, that was just so enlightening. I love the enrollment game. That's so powerful, man. And and you really think about, you try to do your best to help people, and so often we just go to the finish line.
Right.
So well said. Now, I've heard you talk on other occasions, and when you chat about when you were an entrepreneur, you are an entrepreneur, and you've had a lot of businesses, and you would always talk about. I loved how you share about the people that worked for you and how you had challenges with the situation they were in. Could you just share for a minute about that?
Yes, and this is a story I share, and please, guys, use this story. Like if not all of us have been in the role of being a business owner, I fortunately, again, through lots of hard work, have. And that work of owning a traditional business, for me, it looked like sleeping in the closets of the gyms that I was setting up, not having a home, basically being homeless, sleeping in my apartments that I turned into gyms. I eventually upgraded into a loft, and then eventually into a 10,000 square foot warehouse that I had to basically remodel and clean up. There was garbage piles up to the ceiling in most of the place. And I worked out a deal where I could move into this place and basically live it in like a back room, and there was rats running around and mosquitoes. I needed to point fans on me so I didn't get bit by mosquitoes, because there was really no, it wasn't blocked off from the rest of the world in downtown LA, and it smelled, and I didn't have hot water. And I did this for many years until eventually I had enough time and enough money to move out. That was like 3 years into this journey. I had enough money to get my own place, which was not a good place. And I think another 2 or 3 years before I was able to take my first week-long vacation. And that was my journey to eventually be a world-class gym owner in downtown LA. And, you know, people know my name all over the world because of that, because of the uniqueness of how I ran my business also. But it was a struggle to get through it. And it took strong intention. And that's the story of so many business owners. Like, we all had to do that. Things aren't usually handed to business owners. And business owners are usually the crazy ones that are willing to do that, because that's not a smart investment of time. What I went through is not a smart investment of time. So crazy people are usually business owners, which is cool. But what ended up happening was the people that worked for me, very awesome, cool, smart people. You know, you get employees and you realize that like being a boss isn't all grand. You know, I'm responsible for people. I'm paying my coaches as much as I can. And you realize that even the desk girls that I'm hiring, like I'm hiring desk girls in Los Angeles, paying them like $13 to $18 an hour. And like they're working their ass off. And then I'm starting to do the math of how much they're making, how much my coaches are making. I have a coach for me 25 hours a week. If he's making $30 a class, which is pretty standard, that's actually pretty high. You know, that's like $700 a week. And living in Los Angeles with $600, $700, $800 a week is like impossible. It's impossible. And somehow my coaches were doing it. And so I would have to go home every single night realizing that, you know, I was able to pay my bills, but my coaches, like somehow, like, how are these people paying their bills? I just didn't understand it. And it really weighed on me and it didn't make me feel good. Eventually I got bored owning the gyms. I got really bored of like maintaining this brick and mortar facility, maintaining all the processes required with having a brick and mortar facility, and clients that rely on you, and employees that hate you and rely on you at the same time. They hate you because you're not, you know, they watch you buy a new car and they're like struggling with buying lunch, you know, and this is something that I'm aware of. And, but they rely on you. So they're holding out their hands saying, feed me, feed me, feed me. And so when I eventually closed down my gyms, I made a list of what the next business would be like, because I just did my dream business. I opened my dream business and I had it for 10 years. What's the next business going to be? Because I know that I can achieve my dreams. All I need to do is set my intention to it. So the most important thing I knew is the next time I made a business, it's going to have this dream list. And on my dream list was no investment. I basically wrote 100x return on investment, like immediately. I basically didn't want to invest money into the next business because I'm making a dream list of my business. The next thing was have time freedom, right? I didn't want to have to always be responsible for a clogged toilet or somebody breaking into the gym, or like, I didn't want that sort of like restrictive every single day. I need to go make sure, like if the ceiling leaks, I got to fix that. So time freedom was another thing. And then the third major thing on my list of the next business was not taking advantage of human beings. And I didn't know how this would be possible. I literally had no concept of a business where I could invest very little, have my freedom still, not have to be in, and that time freedom meant location freedom also. I hated that I had to be in downtown Los Angeles where it was dirty and it was just smelled like feces and urine. So time and location freedom, and then not take advantage of other people. And network marketing has all these, right? And it's funny because I was in network marketing for a while before I realized that, like, wow, the list that I made, this dream list, like, this is the ascended level of the capitalistic business model that I was already successful at. This is a business model where I'm very little investment. I'm able to live wherever I want. I'm able to work as much as I want, and I don't take advantage of other human beings. My job now is to support my network and lift them up however high they want to be lifted up. And the better I'm able to do that, the more successful I am at this industry. And for me, I'm completely in love with network marketing because of this. And for me, I see that, like, this is a manifestation of what I intended on creating. And my own personal ethos is that when I manifest something, I pay attention to it. I don't just let it slip away, because then the universe punishes me for that. That's something I've learned in my own life. So for me, the Holistic Justice League, this network marketing thing, Purium, all of you guys, you know, the whole thing, this reality that is in front of me is one of my creation. And it's probably in line with every single person that you speak to also, the checklist of things that they want out of their life.
Good, good. Okay, so I just want to let everybody know I was right, okay? He's a great listener. He knows how to listen to people. And I knew that from the first time. I can see it in my mind right now. When I first met Rod, I was a good listener. Okay, and then another thing I want to mention, I ran a marathon, and Rod is running. Okay, mute yourselves. I'm looking for somebody to mute yourselves, please. I can hear you. Everything you say. I got it. So, Lotus, I can mute yourself. Can you please mute yourself? I'm gonna mute everybody. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So anyway, what I was saying, I did run a marathon and I trained for a marathon. And you know, to my surprise, Rod, you were right. They didn't tell me about the first thing, that the finish line. They didn't tell me about that I was supposed to run 26.2 miles. The first thing they did, they said, okay, oh, you're a runner? I said, yeah. Okay, run from here to that point. I'm like, oh, okay, because they want to know where to place me, what part of they're going to place me. And then little by little, they were step by step, they were training me to get to the finish line. So that I love that. I love that acknowledge that you gave about the marathon. Another thing that when it got my attention is you dream list for your next job, for your next business, and I love it. No investment or very little investment. We have that. Have time and freedom, and that includes location. I mean, what a wonderful business we have that we have that. I can go to Mexico, I can go around the country, I can go to Europe and do my business wherever I want. All I need is the phone. Not taking advantage of people. That's huge, you guys, because a lot of times I just got my first job. I applied for my first job, and guess what? The first thing that they said, don't work there because they take advantage of people. And my aunt didn't let me work in there because they said, well, Marla, can you mute yourself, please? Okay, I'm gonna mute everybody.
That's Lotus, honey. Lotus is not muted.
Lotus, can you please? Maybe you, Michael, they have a bigger voice and they can hear you.
Lotus, could you please mute your phone? Lotus, mute your phone, please.
For some reason I can. Okay, I can. There we go. Okay. Anyway, so that's my thinking. But anyway, I'm going to open the lines now. But please mute yourselves if you're not talking, if you don't have any questions, because I want to take a few moments, so that way people can actually ask questions to Rob. This is your opportunity. again, a lot of people has been asking me why that team is growing so fast. Last month, right, was the #1 person at the whole company who actually helped people to rank advance. I'm gonna say it again. He was the #1 person that helped people to rank advance in the whole company, not only on my team, not only on his team, but the whole company. So please unmute yourself or raise your hand if you wanna ask a particular question to Ra or you have a comment. Anybody, unmute yourself. You have, okay, go ahead, Brad.
Hello, it's good to see you all again.
Hey, Brent.
So I've come to, a lot of humbling experiences, meeting people where they're at, seeing how I can be of service to them, cater to their needs. But I've kind of come to the realization that I work really slowly, like a turtle, like I plant the seeds and I do the stuff, but it's here in Oklahoma, it's difficult to convince people that health is the major wealth. And I'm not coming from a place of convincing. However, sometimes it feels like that's the only option, I guess, is to make a case and plant the seed. However, how would you recommend speeding up the process, or is there a way to speed the process up of growth in itself? Because I make authentic connections, but they're far few and in between, people like myself. However, I'm trying to learn how to meet people where they're at on a base level, if that makes sense, just meeting people where they're at.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Ra answer, but this is a really good question. I mean, I'm glad you bring it up because you're not the only one. So Ra, go ahead.
So Brett, I heard you ask a question where you staged the question by basically letting us know how inefficient you are. You said that things are difficult for you and that you move at a turtle's pace, but then you basically asked the question of how do I be more successful? And you staged it in how do I be more successful at meeting people where they're at? So I would first invite you and challenge you to start restructuring how you think about yourself. If you want to be something, then you cannot have the opposing mindset. You can't have the opposing stance in your head, right? So even if you feel like you're moving at a turtle's pace, if you want to stop moving at a turtle's pace and actually start meeting people where they are and inspiring people into your organization, then we got to drop that self-concept. You understand that? So I know that you're trying to give us some context to your situation. However, I see that piece of artwork behind you. I see that you're wearing some sort of necklace. Maybe there's some crystals on there. I also seen you doing some yoga earlier in the call. I know that you know the magic of your creation power. And so underneath the question that you're asking, the foundation of your answer is going to rely in your own internal story that you're telling yourself. So once again, I'm going to invite you to tell a new story and maybe even write it down. What does Brett look like as a successful network marketer, or just as a successful Brett? And meditate on that and be that. Okay, so for me, that's what's most important. That's what I've spent my entire life teaching people is how to be successful by being successful. It's straight up as easy as that. I've won national champions on the sports field by simply writing down in my notebook in college, this year, my hockey team is going to win nationals. That's how I won nationals. I used to win fitness competitions without training by simply determining to be on top of the podium at the end. It was just a decision I made. and then I didn't train for a year, for several years. And I used to win CrossFit competitions against guys that do steroids all day long, simply by just determining that I'm going to be on top of the podium. So I know this is a cure-all, and it sounds like I'm not answering your question, but everybody, the answer to success is to be successful, and that starts in your mind. And so I'm using you as an example, just the way that you prefaced your question, and I'm seriously saying this, that our words are spells, and how we spell out our language is going to affect who we are. So instead of asking, you said, it feels like I can't meet people where they are. It feels like, well, you're going to find the answer to what you want if you practice and determine what it feels like to achieve meeting people where they are. That's, you don't need me to tell you that. You don't need me to tell you that. You don't need me to answer that question for you. Write down on a piece of paper, what does it feel like for me to have a conversation with somebody and connect with them authentically in a way that my action inspires them? And that's really what you're looking for. What does that feeling state feel like for me to walk into a room and speak about the things that I'm doing in a way that people are asking me? Because ultimately, that's grandmaster enrollment, where you're not enrolling. People are asking you to enroll. And we all get to learn that. So the enrollment game that I spoke of earlier, that's the beginning. Eventually, we become so inspiring that we speak in a way that people are trying to enroll themselves into our vision. They're trying to ask us how to enroll. How do you do the things that you do? And Brett, bro, I'm here to tell you, like, you are that person already. Like, you're there. When I met you, you were air conditioning technician, speaking kind of still how you are right now, but I've seen so much growth in you. You started your own yoga studio, you got yoga certified, bought your own brand new vehicle. Every time you step into that truck, man, think about how great you are, how that makes you feel. And I would argue that you think you're meeting people not where they are, but maybe you're actually, you need to rise up, right? So I'm flipping it around on you. How do you rise up to be the inspiring one for the people that you know? How do you rise up to be your fullest self in front of everybody? Quit trying to limit yourself, because you're already limiting yourself right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If you have a comment on that, I'm open to hear.
Okay. Go ahead. We have time for one more person if they want to make a comment or they want to ask a question to Ra. Okay.
I do.
Go ahead, Simas.
Hi guys. Thank you for hosting this amazing Saturday morning training. It's very inspiring, and I wanted to take the next 60 seconds to really acknowledge Ra and Michael and Lucy. You three have created such an incredible impact in my organization, and the dedication of Lucy calling me last night at like 10 p.m. and saying this is an emergency and really making a stance for the team. The hours that I speak with Michael on the phone, digesting all of our events and our strategies, and especially to Ra, he's been up since 6:30 this morning, having meetings and Zooms with all of our people, and how this is just a little example of how he shows up in the stance that he makes for everyone in our team, because it all starts with ourselves. It's the power within ourselves, and the magic is in our speaking, in our listening, really digesting and understanding what this other person's point of view is and how to help them from there. So listening, it's been the greatest friend that we have. Learning how to listen has completely taken our business to the next level. So I really want to invite everyone to really take a little practice into your listening, in your speaking, because this is what can create, a whole new paradigm of possibilities for our business if we learn how to listen. Because even myself at the beginning, when I started this business, very inexperienced, I'm just gonna be a clown. I'm just not gonna listen to what people want. It's like, I'm just gonna sign everyone up. I'm gonna sign up, registration conversations. I got this, enroll, making it to diamond by myself with no team. And it's just because I wasn't really listening to people and what they were saying. And I think that this is what Raw has brought to all of us, the skill of listening and listening to ourselves. Just like Brett just did, listening to your words before they come out. Take a moment. Sometimes I think Raw, it's like slow. Every time I ask him a question, he responds like 90 seconds later, and he's just strategizing his answer. And when he opened his mouth, his answer is so powerful that everyone in the room feels touched, moved, and inspired by his answer. So taking that moment to think before we speak and understand what I am saying, because these are spells that we're casting with our words. And we can show up for someone else fast, eloquent, if we think that we're slow ourselves, right? Because we're gonna put out the energy that we feel inside of us. I forgot where I read this, but if you look at yourself in the mirror, right, and you wanna change your hair, you don't like the way that your hair looks, you don't just change the hair in the mirror, right? You change your hair in yourself so you have a different reflection in the mirror, right? Everything in our lives, in our reality, and even in our business starts with changing it in ourselves first, and then we can see that reflection in the mirror. If I want to be looking fit, I have to work out, right? So then I can see a fit person in the mirror. I don't just change the mirror. So everything in our business is exactly the same way. We got to start with ourselves first, and then we are going to see what we want in the world when we do it on ourselves. It's like JJ says in our team, heaven on earth. We got to be the change that we want to see in the world. And that's exactly what Raw is bringing to the business. It starts with us. So thank you, guys.
Oh my God, Sima, thank you so much for this acknowledgement. And you're right. Again, I'm not going to get tired of saying, for the first moment that I met Ra, when he was so quiet, and you know that because he was just quiet in the room, like saying nothing. I mean, not expression or anything, but he was listening. He was listening everything that I was saying. Okay, you guys, so it's already 10:50, and I want to let you go so that way you can enjoy your weekend. And you can,
I want to throw out here.
okay. And sign up more brand partners, because remember 3 for a week. Go ahead.
I'll give it right back to you, honey. I just wanted to say there's a reason the company, Purium, Amy, and Dave chose Ra to be on the Millennial Advisory Board. And also, Seema was one of the leaders on the advisory board last year, and they've invited her again this year. So even the company recognizes leadership and wisdom. And this is the type of energy, as you see in Ra and Seema, that is on our advisory board. And Lucy was invited to the advisory. They're leading the Millennial Advisory Board, and Lucy was invited to the other advisory board for Crowns. So I loved what Seema said about looking in the mirror. So I suggest when we get off this call, we all go look in the mirror. And so when you look in the mirror, and Brett, if you're a consultant, put that diamond on your head, and then take a look and see what's the steps, working with your team, working with Ra and Carolina, and working with your team to do the steps, because it's all about the steps. It's all about the journey, and the tools that we have are there if you just use them. And you're a powerful young man, Brett. I remember when you were here at the house, and I just really enjoyed your presence so much. And listen, folks, we all live in a different place. I live in Los Angeles, where there's lots of people like, everybody on this call that's around from LA, people that are into health, people that are in nutrition. So we got to give Brett credit. He's out there in the battlefields, where in Oklahoma, where we don't have the most nutritious minded people. So congratulations, Brett, for being that warrior, and just take heed with it, with exactly what Ra said to you, because that was right on the money. And Ra, I want to, as we close off this call, I just want to congratulate you and thank you for caring so much about people and showing your love and kindness and care. And so I really, Lucy and I appreciate you so much. And Seema, you as well, and everybody, the Oshadins, everybody on this call. I saw we have a lady on our team, Sherry Hess, and Lucy's been asking her to do videos and do Facebook stuff. Well, I watched her do a video that she did from her car last night. Lucy showed it to me. And I got to tell you, she wasn't doing that 6 months ago, 3 months ago. Man, she did a knockout like presentation on this bonuses that the company's office offered. So we got so much talent here and so much heart and so much compassion that, Lucy, in closing on these bonuses. So the 3 people a week, 3 new brand partners that buy that lifestyle, that amazing lifestyle transformation pack right here. Okay. With the immune system stuff going on, with the virus going around, there is no better pack to nourish, feed, regenerate your body and all the systems in your body than this pack right here. It's foolproof. You're going to get the gut. You're going to get the protein, fruit, and vegetable. You're going to get the parasite. I mean, people say to me, what do I do? There's a virus. Well, eat protein, eat organic protein, fruit, and vegetable. Get the glyphosate out of your gut. The glyphosate, let's face it, if you want your immune system to go up 50, 60, 70%, get the glyphosate out of your gut. It's that simple. So on that note, I'll give it back to Lucy in closing on, you make your final comment, honey, about the $100 checks you're writing.
Good. Yes, I sure will. I'm verified and everything again, because seems like 4 people got $100. I got $100. So, and this week I'm getting ready to write more checks. So it's up to you. But to get this week, I am not going to help you to get the $100. Okay, because I was looking at the charts. I was making sure everybody had the 3. Everybody had the smart order in place. We are leaders. This is your business. Okay, so let's take care of our business. Okay, so Friday morning, start looking up who in your team sign up 3 people and make sure that they have a smart order. So that way you send them a quick text. Hey, don't forget smart order in place, because if you don't have a smart order in place, you don't get the 500 points. And guess what? You do not get my $100 and break the bank. That's what the money is for.
So honey, who were the 4 people that they got him this week?
Let me look at my list really quick. I believe, well, the number 1, they break the bank, it was Brendan. Brendan got it. It was the first one actually to just achieve the $100 bonuses. And then it was, let me show you really quick before we go. And this is the last thing I'm going to show you. I'm going to share this. This is how I keep track about everybody. Okay, right here on my list, which I need to talk to Seema because I need to know how to put this on Facebook. So Brendan, he was the number 1 on the leadership board, 3, and he got a smart order, check. He got $100. And then it was Robin, and same thing, check. He got $100. Elevator yoga got 4 people, 4, okay, and got 100. And then it was Melinda, got the 3 people last night, and we're working like up to 10 o'clock when Seema called me. I called Seema and I said, please call me. And she said, oh, I'm busy. And I said, no, this is an emergency. Call me. It's not time. So she did. She called me. So anyway, so this is how.
And Seema was at dinner with her and Ross people from Toronto.
Yes. Yeah.
But she still stepped up and got busy.
Yes, she did. She's like, okay, it's an emergency. Must be something good. So here's how I go by doing this. And now I'm going to start the second week. Okay, and I'm gonna leave this and I'm gonna start my second week over here. So that way we know who's the leader, who's ahead and everything. And it's $100, you guys. So at the end of March, 1st of March, I'm gonna start sending all the checks.
Plus 500 group volume added to your
See,
total.
listen what I just, thank you, Michael, for saying that. I don't know if everybody gets this, okay? They did something similar in Europe a couple years ago, 3 years or 5 years ago. They give us the volume, okay, to qualify. Like, for example, we have Robin, which he didn't qualify only by the 3 people that he enrolled. He didn't qualify as a consultant, but because of the $500 volume that they given, the company is given, he qualified as a consultant. So the person above him, which is he's a sponsor, guess what? They got 500 bonus. And the person above Katie got the 500. So it goes up the bonuses, you guys. So please, 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 let's do this. Go ahead.
So please, now everybody that's got their 3 people this week, that's going after their 3 new brand partners, let's really get 3-way calls going with everybody on the team so those 3 can get their 3. Now all that volume goes to the people above them, and people start getting that consultant, that director, that bonus, or that $1,500 bonus, plus those matching bonuses start rolling out. And man, everybody's making money fast. And you know, Brett, I'll say one other thing about what Ra was saying about this. When you pick up the speed, hey, there's nothing, a turtle is great. But let me tell you, man, when you start picking up that pace and realizing that they need to catch up with you and be at your pace. So pick up that pace and move that pace to where you're bringing in 3 people and that volume's growing and everybody's getting that $1,500 bonuses. Now that energy starts picking up. And on that note, Henny, let's let Ra, since he did the call here today, you ask Ra to do the closing comment for today.
Go ahead, Rod.
I actually had something good to say 5 minutes ago, but I forget what it was. So I guess we'll end on the same strategy. I've given several examples of how intending your future is the most important thing. And so we all should leave this meeting with the greatest version of ourselves in the forefront of our mind. Let's make a list. Let's make a mental list. Let's actually make a physical list, right? When we're actually taking a piece of wood and lead from the ground and paper from a tree, and we spell on there. This is alchemy, you guys. So this is I've studied a lot of occult secret society stuff and writing spells on paper with pencil. This is a version of alchemy, and believe it to be real. And a couple years down the line, you might actually find that piece of paper and realize that, like, wow, everything came true, way more perfect than I ever would have imagined. And this has happened for myself time and time again my entire life. So, I mean, that's a simple exercise. It would take 5 minutes to do. Design your future right now after this call.
Perfect. And with that, thank you very much. I'll see you guys next Saturday.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for the question, Brett.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Have a great day, great weekend. Let's start it off. Let's all sign up 3 people today.
Yes.
Thanks, guys. Love you.
For you.
Namaste.
Yeah.